If you're planning to apply for residency in Mexico, whether it's to retire, work, or just enjoy Mexico, today's video is for you. Applying for Mexican residency can be a straightforward process if you're prepared, but there are plenty of pitfalls that can trip you up if you're not careful. I've seen countless people make avoidable mistakes that delay their applications, cost them money, or even lead to denials. In this video, I'm sharing the top 10 mistakes to avoid when applying for Mexican residency or citizenship, along with practical tips to ensure your application goes smoothly. This is a detailed guide packed with actionable advice, so stick with me as we dive into everything you need to know to get it right the first time. The first mistake people make is not researching consulate-specific requirements. Mexican consulates have some flexibility in setting their financial thresholds and document requirements for residency visas and citizenship, meaning the rules can vary depending on where you apply. For example, the consulate in Los Angeles might ask for a monthly income of around $4,000 USD for a temporary residency visa, while the consulate in Toronto might require slightly more or less due to exchange rate differences or local policies. Some consulates are stricter about the types of financial proof they accept, like bank statements versus pension documents. Failing to check the specific requirements for your chosen consulate can lead to a rejected application. To avoid this, contact the consulate directly or visit their official website to confirm their current income or savings thresholds, document list, and appointment process. If possible, reach out to others who've applied at the same consulate to get a sense of what to expect. Preparation is key, and knowing exactly what your consulate requires will save you time and stress. The second mistake is underestimating the financial requirements. To qualify for a temporary resident visa, you typically need to show a monthly income of around $4,000 USD or savings of about $70,000 USD, averaged over a number of months. For permanent residency, these numbers are higher. Okay, so a common error is assuming your income or savings are close enough, quote unquote, without verifying the exact numbers. For instance, if you have a net monthly pension of $3,800, you might think you're fine, but some consulates strictly enforce their minimums, and falling short even by a small amount can lead to denial. Another issue is not understanding what qualifies as proof. Some people submit a single bank statement showing a high balance, but consulates often require 6 to 12 months of statements to prove consistency. To avoid this mistake, calculate your net income after taxes or your average savings balance carefully. If you're close to the threshold, consider applying at a consulate with slightly lower requirements or boosting your savings or augmenting your income beforehand. Also, ensure your documents clearly show consistent income or savings and double-check that they meet the consulate's specific criteria. Mistake number 3 is submitting incomplete or incorrect documents. The residency application requires a precise set of applications, including your passport, proof of income or savings, a completed application form, passport-sized photos, and sometimes additional items like a marriage certificate if applying with a spouse. A common error is submitting documents that don't meet the consulate's standards, such as photos with the wrong background color or bank statements that aren't translated or notarized. Another issue is missing documents entirely, like forgetting to include a criminal background check if required. To avoid this, create a checklist of all the required documents based on your consulate's guidelines. Make sure each document is up to date, properly formatted, and if necessary, apostilled or translated into Spanish by a certified translator. It's also a good idea to bring extra copies to your consulate appointment, as some consulates may require additional documentation on the spot. The fourth mistake is missing or poorly preparing for the consular appointment. Securing an appointment at a Mexican consulate can take weeks, sometimes months, especially at busy locations like Miami or Chicago. People fail to book their appointment early enough, which can delay their entire process, particularly if they're trying to apply before financial requirements increase, like the 12% hike coming in 2026 due to Mexico's minimum wage increase. And by the way, we have another video on the channel dedicated to the 2026 requirements post 12% hike. Others show up unprepared, without all their documents or incomplete forms, which can result in a rescheduled appointment or outright rejection. To avoid this, book your appointment as early as possible using the Consulate's online system or the Mexitel hotline. Double-check the appointment date and time and arrive early with all your documents organized into a folder. I would say triple-check your appointment date. We had a guy that went on the wrong day and he drove 2-3 hours to, the nearby city. I think he got a hotel and stayed overnight, all on the wrong night. So things can happen. So another tip, practice answering basic questions about your application, like why you want to move to Mexico, as some consulates conduct brief interviews. Being proactive and organized will ensure your application goes smoothly. Mistake number 5 is not planning for the in Mexico portion of the process. Many people think the consular appointment is the end of the road, but it's only the first step. Once you receive your visa sticker from the consulate, you have 180 days to enter Mexico and complete the residency process at an immigration office, usually the INM. This involves exchanging your visa sticker for a residency card, which requires additional documents like proof of address in Mexico and potentially certified translations of your paperwork. A common mistake is assuming this step is quick or simple. The process can take 1 to 3 months, and requirements vary by immigration office or INM office. Some people arrive in Mexico without a plan, only to find they need to scramble for a local address or translations. To avoid this, research the immigration office in the city where you'll be living or first visiting, such as Mexico City or Guadalajara or Cancun, and confirm their specific requirements. Consider hiring an immigration facilitator to handle the process, the appointments, translations, local paperwork, etc., as they're familiar with the regional differences and can streamline the process and do all the speaking Spanish for you. And by the way, MyLatinLife is a full-scale immigration consultancy. We help people get residency and citizenship in Mexico. Me, myself, I'm a permanent resident of Mexico. I've been a resident for over 4 years, and we've helped hundreds of people do the same, get temporary residency, permanent residency, and citizenship in Mexico. So if you'd like to do the same, there's a link in the description to book a call with us. You'll be booking a one-on-one consultation, and we can answer all your burning questions and get the process started for you to get that residency card in your hands. Moving along with the video, the 6th mistake is ignoring the importance of translations and apostilles. Documents like birth certificates, marriage certificates, or financial statements often need to be apostilled in your home country to verify their authenticity and translated into Spanish by a certified translator in Mexico. A frequent error is assuming you can use any translator or skip the apostille process. Some consulates and immigration offices reject non-certified translations or documents without an apostille, which can delay your application or require you to restart. This is particularly important if you're applying directly in Mexico via family reunification or for citizenship by descent. To avoid this, check which documents need an apostille in your home country and arrange for certified translations once you're in Mexico. Budget for these costs, as they are small costs, but they can often add up, $20, $50 per document. Planning ahead will prevent last-minute headaches. Mistake number 7 is not accounting for exchange rate fluctuations. Mexico's residency financial requirements are set in Mexican pesos, based on the country's minimum wage, and then converted to USD or other currencies at the current exchange rate. If the peso strengthens against your currency, the dollar amount needed for income or savings can increase significantly. For example, a $4,000 income requirement today could jump to $4,200 or more if the peso gains value. Some applicants don't monitor exchange rates and are caught off guard when their finances no longer meet the threshold. To avoid this, check the current exchange rate when preparing your application and aim to exceed the minimum requirements by a small buffer to account for fluctuations. If you're applying in 2025, keep an eye on the peso's value, especially as the 2026 minimum wage increase approaches, which will further raise the thresholds. The eighth mistake is failing to maintain consistent financial proof over time. Consulates typically require 6 to 12 months of bank statements, pension statements, or other documents to prove your income or savings are stable. A common error is submitting statements with irregular deposits, large one-time transfers, or balances that dip below the required amount. For instance, if you transfer $70,000 into your account just before applying, but your average balance over 6 months is only $50,000, you might be denied. In fact, you're probably going to be denied. So to avoid this, ensure your financial documents show a consistent balance or income stream for the required period. If your income is variable, like from freelance work, consider providing additional documentation, such as tax returns or investment statements, to strengthen your case. Start preparing your financial proof months in advance to avoid last-minute issues. Mistake number 9 is not understanding the residency maintenance requirements. Once you have your temporary or permanent residency, you need to follow certain rules to keep your status active. For temporary residency, you must spend some time in Mexico each year, typically at least a few weeks, and renew your residency card annually or whenever it's expiring, certainly for the first 4 years until you convert to permanent. Failing to renew on time or leaving Mexico for extended periods without notifying the INM can result in losing your status. Permanent residents have fewer restrictions, but must still notify the INM of changes like a new address. A common mistake is assuming you can get residency and then leave Mexico indefinitely without consequences. To avoid this, plan your travel and residency renewals carefully. If you're not ready to live in Mexico full-time, temporary residency is flexible, as you only need to visit periodically to maintain it. Keep track of renewal deadlines and stay in touch with the INM to ensure compliance. The 10th and final mistake is trying to navigate the process without help when you need it. The Mexican residency process involves complex bureaucracy, language barriers, and regional variations, which can be overwhelming, especially for first-timers. Some people attempt to handle everything themselves to save money, but end up making costly errors, like submitting incorrect documents or missing deadlines. Hiring an immigration facilitator can make a huge difference. These professionals can help with scheduling consulate appointments, choosing the right consulate, translating documents, and navigating the in-Mexico process. They can also assist with additional tasks, like obtaining a work permit, registering a vehicle, or getting a Mexican tax ID known as the RFC. To avoid this mistake, research reputable facilitators and lawyers with good reviews and consider their services, especially if you're unfamiliar with Mexican bureaucracy or you don't speak Spanish fluency. The cost of a facilitator can save you huge time, stress, and potential rejections. And again, there's a link in the description where you can book a call and you can work with us. MyLatinLife is the best Mexican facilitator out there. We have a team of lawyers that can handle your case and get that residency card in your hands for you and your entire family. To wrap things up, applying for Mexican residency is an exciting step towards living in a beautiful, affordable, and culturally rich country, but it's not without its challenges. By avoiding these 10 mistakes, you'll set yourself up for a smooth and successful application. And again, those 10 mistakes are researching consular requirements, meeting financial thresholds, submitting correct documents, preparing for appointments, planning for the in-Mexico process, handling translations and apostilles, accounting for exchange rates, maintaining consistent financial proof, understanding maintenance rules, and seeking help when needed. With the right preparation, you'll be holding your Mexican residency card in no time. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more tips on Mexico residency and citizenship. If you've made any of these mistakes or have questions about the process, drop them in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And remember to book a call with us, link in the description, and we'll see you in the next video.